can see on the monitor, this is the image I'm going to print. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this image to my Okidata color laser printer. As far as this printer is concerned, it has standard toners that come from Okidata. The only thing that we're doing different is the type of paper that we're running through it. So what I'm going to do, I'm running the paper through what's called the multi-purpose or bypass tray. Now, when it comes to these Okidata color laser printers and just about all other color laser printers, there are different media weights that you could select depending on the thickness of the paper. What I found is with this particular printer, if you tell it that you're printing a label, you get the best result. Now, if you have your own color laser printer or color laser copier, you might have to experiment with the different media settings to figure out which one is the best for your particular printer or copier. But as far as the image is concerned, I print out the image on what's called my imaging sheet. And I print the image mirror to reverse just like I would a regular t-shirt transfer. Now when you order this product, you get a second set of sheets that come with it. You get this sheet, which is called a transfer sheet. Now what the transfer sheet has, it contains a white powdered base that when we apply heat and pressure, the white powder base will bond to the toner that we have printed on our imaging sheet. Wherever this white base comes in contact with the paper, where there's no toner involved, it won't stick. So the whole purpose of this is that we can make an opaque transfer that we don't have to trim or cut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the transfer sheet, lay it over my printed image sheet like this. Just align the two sheets together. And I'm going to put them inside of my heat press. I'm going to heat these two sheets together at 250 degrees for 25 seconds. Okay? Now what's happening here is that wherever that white base feels that toner, it's going to bond itself to that toner. When I peel these two sheets apart, what I should have is a white base over my printed design. When we peel the two sheets apart, now if I hold up what's called my transfer sheet, you can almost see like a perfect outline of my original design, okay? This is what the image looked like before we applied the white base. This is what the image looks like after we apply the white base. Now just as a point of reference, so you know, if you see this solid white base over your printed image, you are ready to go. The mistake that most people make is that when they peel away their transfer sheet, they see the original color in spots throughout the image. If that happens to you, you either didn't use enough temperature or you didn't use enough pressure. But if there are any areas of the transfer where you can still see the original color, it'll appear as a dropout spot when you apply it to your t-shirt. So you want to make sure that you have this solid white base over your printed area. But since we got that result, no. At that point, you would have to try another transfer. It's a do-over. So what I will tell you is, because all heat presses are slightly different, it may take you a couple of transfers to calibrate your press for that first step. Now, once you get the solid white base, as far as going on to the t-shirt, that's the easy part. The t-shirt can be light or dark, okay? In this case, I am using a Hanes BPT 100% cotton t-shirt, okay? It could be any color under the rainbow. My advice is you want to use 100% cotton. The t-shirt can have polyester content in it and you'll be okay, But I would say if it's got more than 50% polyester, you don't want to use this process. And the reason is, this white base is obviously some type of poly base. If you have a shirt that has a high polyester content, the heat and the pressure might cause those polyester inks to migrate into your base. It'll distort how the image looks on the shirt. Yeah, so if you have cotton shirts, 100% cotton, you don't have to worry about that. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll put the transfer down, place it on our garment, swing our heat press over. This is the second step. It takes place at 375 degrees for 30 seconds. You want to use a good, firm pressure. What's happening is the heat press and pressure is basically driving that white base into the shirt, and the white base is pulling the toner off that page with it. So what we have is the white base acts as our opaque layer so that we can see the color over against our dark garment. Kind of the same principle of screen printers putting down a white plastisol base and then putting their color on top. We're essentially doing the same thing with a transfer paper. Now, I'll remove my shirt and I will use a highly technical cooling method to cool down this backing sheet. Because having two heat presses will definitely help with productivity, okay? But the process can be done using a single heat press. My advice is if you're doing a large job, you want to print out your job, set your press at 250, go ahead and apply the white base to all those transfers, and then bump your heat press up to 375 to apply the image. But once you apply the white base to it, you can actually store that transfer in a cool, dry place away from heat and moisture for up to 12 months and still transfer it to a t-shirt. My recommendation is to get some type of sealable container to keep your prepped transfers. Okay, but now, let's go ahead and peel away the backing sheet.
Is there a problem with humidity?
As far as humidity is concerned, if you are dealing in a high humidity area, yeah, I would definitely store those transfers. I would take a couple of silicone packs to put inside. But this is our finished product here. We have got our image onto a dark garment, intricate design, without any trimming or cutting. And that's how the image clip for laser dark works.
How come the color wasn't so bright as a picture?
Well, as far as this is concerned, what we've got to remember is, one, we're going up against a dark background. Even though we did apply a white base behind, it's not a solid white base. Think of it as kind of like a powder white base. If we went with, let's say, like a standard opaque material that was a solid white sheet, chances are we would probably have, let's say, like a more colorful image. But by the same token, we would also have an image that we would have to intricately cut with a vinyl cutter or optical cutter, or even worse than that, an X-Acto knife to trim it out of a standard opaque material. As far as this is concerned, you might sacrifice a little bit as far as, let's say, color quality. Because generally speaking, a laser printer is not going to be as vibrant as, say, an inkjet printer. But the trade-off is you get a more durable print, because this will last longer than anything generated off of inkjet. The paper, generally speaking, is less expensive for color laser than it is for inkjet. The third advantage is speed. While most inkjet printers produce an 8.5 by 11 print in 45 seconds to a minute, a laser printer can produce 10 to 12 transfers per minute. So you get a higher throughput, you get a lower cost per print, and once the image is on the garment, you get a more durable garment. And if you want to take that one,